Well, welcome to the 8th lab of AZ-400, create and configure an Azure load balancer. We're again here in our lab environment, and the first thing that we need to do is create a virtual network. So let's go over to VNet. And create. And resource group is not created for us, so we need to create a new one. I'm going to call it int_lb vnet. Oh, int_lb rg, sorry. Right. And then this is supposed to be int_lb vnet. And it's in East US. For IP addresses, I'm going to use the 10.1.0.0 CIDR range. And then for subnets, we're going to use one subnet for my backend. And that's going to be the bottom 24. And then we're going to add a new one, which will be called my front end. And that's going to be the 10.1.2.0.24. We could enable Bastion host here. The name maybe should be something like my Bastion host. And the public IP address should be a new one. Let's call it my Bastion IP. Okay, that's done. I think the Bastion option here will automatically also set up the Bastion subnet as it does in the 10.1 environment. It's at 26, so that's okay. Right, the VNet's already deployed, so we can start with the deployment of our infrastructure. We're going to do this using a pre-created ARM template. So let's just go into PowerShell in Cloud Shell. All right, we need to upload some template files. So this will be in the GitHub repo in my machine. They're available here under the F drive. And we want to go to M4. And then we need to use Azure deploy.json as well as Azure deploy parameters. So these two. And then we can deploy them. We need a password. Right, so while these are creating, let's go onwards and create our load balancer. Making a bit of room here. And then going to load balancer and create. We're going to use our resource group. Then we're going to call this my int load balancer. We're going to put it into East US. We're going to use the standard SKU. I'm going to make it an internal load balancer. And therefore the tier is going to be regional. For the front-end IP, we're going to add one. We're going to call it the load balancer front-end. It needs to be in the int lb vnet, and it should be in the front-end subnet. We can have the IP address as dynamic. So that's it. Then the backend pool we can create later. Just create. So now that's been created. So let's go to our resource here. And then here in the settings, you can see the backend pools, which currently don't exist. So let's add one here. We're going to call it the my backend pool. It's going to be in the virtual network itself. So then for IP configurations, we add, and we should see all three virtual machines here. So let's select all of those, and then select add. So we can see all of the three VMs now being in the backend pool. There we go. We can now also remove the PowerShell as that's finished. Next, let's create a health probe. Again, the name's just going to be my health probe. We just wanted to use HTTP to look for the root path and do that every, let's say, 15 seconds. And then load balancer rule. I'm going to call this my HTTP rule. Now the front end IP address should be the front end that we've defined earlier. The backend pool should be my backend pool, just defined. Protocol is going to be TCP on port 80. The backend is also working on port 80. And then the health probe is the one that we, the health probe is the one that we just. And we don't need any session persistence, and I'm going to say like 15 minutes for an idle timeout. There we go. So now our load balancer is actually ready. We can see over here that we don't have any deployments still going on. So we should be able to test everything. Let's go over to VMs and create a new test virtual machine. So we're going to put this in the same resource group as well. The name would be my test VM. East US is okay. We don't need any available infrastructure redundancy. For the image, we need Windows 2019. There we go. And the size should be a DS1. And the username should be a test user. And we're going to use a really cool password. For disks, we don't need to do any changes. For networking, we want to put it into the int lb vnet and into the backend subnet. And we actually don't want to have a public IP. Therefore, we want to have an advanced NIC security group. And there should be a my NSG already available that we're going to be using. And we don't need load balancing for this one. So let's create this. Right, that's done. So let's go and take a look at our load balancer. And specifically, we want to see the IP address that it is using. This one, 10.124. Let's keep that in mind. Then let's go over to our new virtual machine. And let's connect. And now we need to connect via a question. Right, I need a finish. Can't have a finish Swedish layout. VM password, or the username was test. User password was great password. And let's connect. All right, let's open up Edge. All right, here we are, and our IP was 10.124. We got the response from VM3 here. But yeah, this is everything for this particular lab. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next